Hey! How is everyone doing today? Hopefully, cross your fingers, cross your toes, that this stream goes well, that the tech works, that it is not disrupted, that it's not buffering. I'm hoping that we have solved the problem, but you never know. So let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. Everything looks good. Your screen looks good. I would love to know that we're all right, because on my end, so far it says we are. Very well. I'm doing so good because I'm excited. I'm hoping this works. Yay! So far so good. Cross your fingers, cross your toes. For those of you who are just now joining, I am live both simultaneously on YouTube as well as on Twitch. So if you don't see specific conversations, it is because I don't have the plugin, or I don't know how to do that just yet. I'm working on it. But there are two different platforms that I'm streaming on. So I'm keeping track of both chat rooms. Hi, Sandra. Oh, thank you, Emerald. Emmy, thank you so much. Hey, Van Roo. Yay! No, you guys didn't miss it. Oh my gosh, I can understand buying too many decks. So this is an older deck. I've had this in my possession for like 2 years now. And I just never got around to making a video on it because it's kind of different. It's not an oracle and it's not a tarot. It's a deck that features different spells. So naturally it would be a very hard video to kind of do an unboxing for. I have looked through it myself to kind of see what kind of video I would do with it. A live works better, so that way you guys get like instant knowledge and can understand what's going on. There's another deck that I have that's similar to this that I will add in the live poll rotation. It's the Practical Witches little mini spell deck. So that's going to be coming up soon, as well as I already made a video of another like spell deck that was a bargain bin one. So that one was like $10. Wasn't too bad. So I made a video on that one because it had a big book to go along with it. Oh, nice! Hi, Tarot and Intuitive Readings. All right. So it's 6 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. Yay! Do, 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 do. All right. Oh, I'm crossing all of my fingers. Oh, yay. Okay. So this is the spell deck. This is by Cat Cabral, and the illustrations are by Kim Knoll. This is published by Chronicle Books. It is fairly inexpensive too. It's $16.95 in the US and $14.99 in the UK. And as always, in the description box below, if you are on YouTube, I linked where you can purchase this legitimately. Keyword, legitimately. Hi, Joe! No, we're just starting. Alright, so like I said earlier, this is a deck full of spells, so it's not really an oracle, but maybe we can try and experiment with that after the flip through. So, it says, enhance your life with magic. This enchanting deck features 78 rituals, spells, and recipes for love, empowerment, healing, and so much more. Brimming with alluring illustrations and powerful practices rooted in ancient traditions, this illuminating deck makes it easy to infuse each day with the wonders of magic. So Cat Cabral has been practicing magic for 20 years. Awesome. Lives in New York City. Nice. And the packaging is great. It slides out from the bottom. It's very modern looking. That marbly look. I guess that's how I'm going to describe it. So before we get into the cards, I might have shuffled them. I don't know. No, I think they're all the same. Okay. So before I get into that, let's just take a little peek-see at this tiny book here. It doesn't go into too much depth because, as you'll see, a lot of the information is on the card. So it'll tell you about it, how to use it, the practice of witchcraft, using the cards as a guide for witchcraft, and using the cards as a divination tool. Oh, so you can do that. It's been so long, like about 2 years since I've had this deck. I have put it in the depths of my bookshelves. I forgot all about it until the other day. All right. So this, oh my gosh, it is a divination tool. All right, cool. An all-level guide to rituals, spells, and recipes for magical occasions and intentions. Alrighty. Witchcraft is a practice that anyone can learn. It is universal and embedded in the fabric of every culture. Witches have existed for centuries, weaving the art of magic and passing down its wisdom to the next generation of seekers. Whether you are just beginning to harness the witch within or have experienced dancing underneath the full moon, these cards will provide information and foster intuition. You can use this deck in a variety of ways. If you have a clear intention in mind, like a blessing or a new home or attracting a mate, select a card from one of the 8 categories to find one that aligns with your purpose. Are you looking for daily inspiration or a spiritual sign, or are you just not sure what magic to do? Pick a card at random. The deck is a tool to sharpen your intuition, informing what steps to take before casting your spells. So then it goes into some info of witchcraft, using the cards for witchcraft. So work with the moon, planets, and seasons. Ooh, get magical days of the week. Love it. Moon phases, when to work with those. The wheel of the year. Not everybody follows the wheel of the year. And this is what I'm interested in. And before we even go into the spells, each person's practice is individual to the person, or if you are a part of a coven. So there is really, in my opinion, no right or wrong way to practice, as long as you are doing it ethically. And if it's a closed practice, it needs to be closed for a reason, so don't attempt to do those rituals or spells. So we'll see how these spells are. So just keep that in mind. Me personally, I don't do love spells. I don't do any of that of the sort because I believe in consent. And, you know, that's a topic that we can get on in another time. But there's a thing called ethics and morals, and I feel like all witchcraft is essentially up to your personal ethics and morals and what you are wanting to do. Hello, Namiko. Hi. Yay. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Alette. Hi, Farasolf. Yay. Okay, sorry. Off tangent. Okay, so using the cards as a divination tool. So symbols and signs appear in our daily lives as reminders that the collective unconscious of magic exists everywhere. We just need to learn to recognize them. Use the deck to unlock the intuitive powers we all possess. So you can pull a card a day, it seems like. Okay, the cards don't lie. They will always offer pearls of wisdom. Use the deck each morning to see what messages will be revealed as the day unfolds. So shuffle, meditate on the card if you want to, connect to it, and then you have categories of cards. The cards are divided into 8 categories based on intention, purpose, and witch's lore. So we have witch's tools, self-explanatory. Then we have the language of magic, so symbols of the occult. I love that the word occult is still a prevalent thing in our vocabulary. Used to evoke various energies that can be carved on candles or drawn on letters of intention for casting spells. And bonds of love. Love, sensuality, healing hearts, and self-love. Abundance and good fortune. Rites of purification and renewal. Fires of passion and creativity. Intuitive awareness, so enhancing it. And then which is familiar, so animal guides that appear on our path, revealing messages from their rich mythology. Okay, so we kind of just went over that whole thing. Let's get into the cards. So the different sections, I believe, have different back cards, but I could be wrong. I don't remember if I put this all together again. I don't think I did, but we're just going to go for it. All right. See, it's kind of like hard to do a video on this because it's all over the place, but we're just going to go with it. We're going to try. Oh, that's cute. Very abstract. I don't know why I'm looking at the camera and not over here at you guys. Hey, Christina. Hi, Livela. Hi, Lunar. Yeah, I never really thought about you. As I put it down, you guys can see the different backs. And then when we shuffle it, we'll pull a card and we'll read the whole card. I don't want to read it now because we will literally be here for hours. Ain't nobody wants to be here for that long listening to me stumble over words. But what I'm interested in is, you know, are they ethically done? Are they using closed practices? Livla, nice. I am horrible with pronouncing everybody's screen names because you're on the screen very tiny anyway, and I need glasses. I should be wearing them, but I'm not. And I'm horrible. I'm like, wait, what is that again? So as you can see, there's like 8 different backs or something of the sort like that. Very pretty. You can actually buy the artwork from her website, the artist Kim Knoll. So I'm not. Each card is different, has different stuff on it. So that's what we'll kind of go over. We'll pull a couple and see how it gives the information and what it does. So we have goddesses in here. That's awesome. This might be very beneficial, like a good starter kit. We'll see. At least this will give you like an intro to it. And for the price tag, it might be worth it. Especially if you can get it on sale. Oh, that is a chant. How to honor your ancestors. That's really cool. Okay, yeah, so they are all different. So this one has materials and ingredients to use. Oh, there was a little buffer there. So yeah, each card has a different way of going about spell work. Interesting. And then it has information about, you know, what they're talking about. Oh, a deck you haven't heard of? Magic Oracle. Oh, so this is a separation from a relationship. That's interesting. So that has more of like pinks and rosy colors. I think for me personally, like spells in the realm of love, separation type spells, I'm okay with. If there was a tumultuous relationship and you need to like just separate for both of your guys's well-being, that I'm okay with, because sometimes it's hard to get out of, I'm choosing my words very carefully, a tumultuous, we'll say, relationship, so that I'm okay with. But like love spells to make another person fall in love with you or like you or be infatuated with you, I feel like that just borderlines on an area that I'm not comfortable with. I feel kind of icky about that. Yeah, cut ties, absolutely. But I love the love spells that are self-love. I feel like that's where you're going to get the most productive spell out of it, because once you can fully love and accept yourself, then you're super confident, you know what you want, you feel like you can go and talk to people, you feel like you know what you're worth, so you won't accept anything less. So like that I'm okay with, because you have your own consent. Oops, sorry. But trying to attract a mate in different ways, that kind of feels icky to me. But let me know what you guys think. I could be, this is just personal preference. To each their own, as I'll say. But yeah, I love self-love spells. Love self-love affirmations too. Yeah, the free will is just kind of not there anymore, right? When you start messing around with that. And, you know, we always have to remember too that words are spells and words are powerful, and you have to be very, you have to choose them wisely with what you're doing. And you have to make sure that what you are trying to manifest and bring to you, it's not, you know, there's that meme that talks about how, like, you know, I'm trying to manifest, you know, money in my life, but I ended up manifesting a 60-hour work week and a second job and all of this, so I wasn't specific enough on what I wanted. Ooh, I like this. This brings clarity when you're stuck in a fog. Love that. Rosemary oil. And then you have a little chant there. Awesome. Ooh, bag of luck there. Yeah, that's different, Vanny. Being receptive to someone who's already got a crush on you, that's a little bit different too. But yeah, I have a problem with the free will part of it. It's so nuanced that it's safer just to stay away from all of that, in my opinion. It's all good with you. Yes, Christina, absolutely. The self-love. Oh, your spell gave you overtime? Yeah, really, it's like a double-edged sword. You have to be very specific with what you try to conjure up. Oh yeah, like not miss an opportunity. That makes sense, Vanny. Yes, invitation is different than blatantly trying to coerce. So why they're not all together is because I forgot I already like looked through them and shuffled them and never put them back in order. Like I said, I've had this deck for 2 years, and normally if I like get a deck and I play, ooh, geez, I keep hitting the camera, I'm sorry guys. I play around with the deck for a little bit, and then I'm like, oh, you know, now that I know the deck or I have a video to do on it, I'll put it back together. Completely forgot about this one. I just kind of put it on the shelf and I was like, oh, I'll deal with it later. Apparently never did. So I apologize. I didn't even look through it because normally if I do that, it's already reordered again, put back on the shelf all nice and neat. But nope, not this. Come to me. Okay, so this is attraction. So, okay, so use with caution and be thoughtful about what you wish for. So yeah, this could be a very potent thing, and it could attract some things that you might not necessarily want to attract. I wonder if there's a way to be more specific about what you want to attract. Hey, Lourdes! Yeah, I'd like to know how simple they are, how simple the spells are, because if they are simple enough to where you don't need a lot of materials, you just need to be on a specific moon phase, and maybe you have a rosemary sprig or something, then I'd be more inclined to go about trying them. Or if there's a little chant or affirmation, awesome. I am what you would call a lazy witch. I don't tend to do a whole lot. I do a lot with intention, and that's about it. When I first started out, I thought I needed to have all of the tools, all of the books, all of the accoutrement, so to speak, and it didn't make a difference whether I had expensive tools or if I just used myself. And so and I use like really cheap things too. Like I'll use Dollar Tree candles. I'll use what I have, and I feel like to me that's more of a witchy thing to do. Like use what you have on hand, because back in the day they didn't have much. They didn't have these aesthetically pleasing tools or these amazing altars. But if that's what you're into, then by all means. Like, this is not me gatekeeping. This is not me shaming aesthetically pleasing tools or expensive tools, because they can be beneficial. However, not everybody has access. So it's about using what you have and using what you know. And then knowing, too, what you can substitute with something else. So like, for instance, if you don't have a specific crystal, yes, having that specific crystal does amplify and does a specific thing, but if you are in a bind or you don't have it on hand or can't afford it, a clear quartz will do the job just fine. Same with any other herb. You can use rosemary. It's all purpose. So it's just going about using what you have and the knowledge of the properties of those said items. Like a white candle, you can use it for anything, really. Lazy witch, yes. Yeah, and I think that is awesome that you're figuring it out as you go, because that's how you learn. And then the whole point of this too is to make mistakes. As Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus says, make mistakes, get messy. That's how you learn. And depending on what spell work you're doing, everything can be fixable if you are a beginner doing beginner type spells. Again, magic is just intention, and then moving that energy toward what you're trying to do. Oh, no, I haven't used these at all. I flipped through them, I tried shuffling it, and then I let them go back on the shelf. So legitimately, that's all I did. And then it's 2 years later, and I'm like, oh, I forgot I had these. Yeah, what's convenient. Yeah, absolutely. I'm like this little owl. You are with your people, absolutely. I'm still 10 years old. Sometimes I'm 5. There's other days where I'm like 21, but I'm old. And I'm alright with that. Absolutely. Comfy magic. Oh my gosh. And then too, like, there's nothing wrong. I have seen in the TikTok side of things where, like, so I don't want to bash anyone because that's not what my point is, but there's a lot of misinformation out about spell work and stuff, and like if you have any sort of medication that you're on, then your spell work won't be good, or like, you know, you if you're depressed, your spell work won't be good. It's like, no. You know, you don't have to be all natural. You don't have to like be a vegan. You don't have to anything like that. In order, like, if you need medication to be a person, then you need medication. That's perfectly valid. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That will not affect your spell work. But what will is if you aren't treating your body in the way that it needs to be treated. So, like, absolutely, you know, trying to find the right words, because that kind of thing really, that is a really negative way of thinking and really exclusionatory for a lot of people who do have certain medications that they take all the time, but they are spell workers, you know. And so, you know, for me personally, I'm not on a lot of medications now, but I was when I was starting my practice. That never affected it. So be very careful and mindful about what information you are taking in, especially on social media, because there are a lot of people who are trolls. There are a lot of people that don't want to help you succeed. There are a lot of people who are just doing it for clout, who aren't really doing it or practicing it. So again, just be very mindful. Do your own research. Do what feels right for you, what feels good for you and your soul. And like I said earlier, as long as it's not a closed practice, then feel free to experiment. You know, everybody can do a cleansing, but not everybody can do a smudging. Smudging is a closed practice. There's certain goddesses and god work that are closed practices. You can learn about them, but like, you know, doing the specific rituals for those gods and goddesses, that's a closed practice. So just be very mindful, do your research, and you know, vet your social media people, including me. If there are things that I say that you don't feel is right for you, then by all means, don't follow like what I'm saying. Don't do what I say. Do your research. I don't take offense to it. And everything that I do on my channel, that I tell you, that I show you, is stuff that I have done and I have experimented with or experience with. And I will let you know if I ever do a video where I'm like, okay, let's try this thing out. Like if we were doing a spell out of this, then I would say, okay, we're going to try this and see what happens. We're going to do this together. But everything else is stuff that I have done on my own personally. So just keep that in mind. Sorry, I get on a tangent. Violet, have a great night, great day, great night. Yeah, absolutely. If someone is sitting there trying to tell you how you need to nourish yourself, and how you are currently nourishing yourself is wrong, you need to double check them, because, you know, I mean, take that with a caveat. If people are trying to tell you that, you know, you doing illicit things is bad and you're saying no it's not, then we have an issue, right? But what I'm saying is, you know your body, you know how it needs to be nourished, and you know what it needs to thrive. If somebody is trying to dictate that for you, and say that you're not valid or your practice isn't valid because you do XYZ, run for the hills. Closed practice is basically meaning you cannot do those said rituals because that belongs to, we'll just say, like an indigenous group. So, you know, here in North America, we have indigenous peoples who they have a smudging ceremony, and smudging is their term, and it's the term. And I'm probably going to mess up this information. I'm not an expert in any way. And it's not my space to explain it, but that particular term is something sacred for them, and it's a ceremony for them. So we, especially like us, you know, with pale skin, we have no claim to do so. It's closed to us because it's for their specific people. And I'm probably not explaining that correctly. And I mean no disrespect at all, but basically it means it's off, out of bounds for us to try to go into their practice, use their specific rituals, their specific tools, and basically copy that because it's sacred to them. And I couldn't tell you every single closed practice because I'm not well versed in everything. I just, like I said, I do what I know to be safe. All right. So, oh my gosh, yeah, people drive me crazy sometimes. You know, believe what you want to believe, it's fine, but don't try to gatekeep. I remember there was it last year or the year before, because time is an illusion to me right now, but there was one viral TikTok that was going around and everybody was just like, you are blatantly wrong. But it was within tarot. And I was like, oh, you shouldn't use tarot because that's exclusive and a closed practice to the Romani people. And it's like, do you know your own history about what you're using before you spout off? Like, awesome, try to be a social justice warrior, like, cool, like, do the work that you need to do, but you're doing the wrong work. So everybody was like, no. Is not a closed practice. Tarot is not a closed practice. Oh, thanks, Namiko. Yeah, it's really nice. I like using clove oil a lot. I use it more for candle dressing, to put it on the candles and then the herbs stick to it. Unless it's your culture, your own culture. I don't have a culture. I don't get to claim a culture. I have, different DNA from different parts of the world, but I specifically don't have a culture. And that's what a lot of people get stuck on when they are white, is like, well, I could claim this, that, and the other. It's like, you don't get it. Like, you shouldn't be trying to claim anything. Like, as an American, I should say, you shouldn't be, if you're white, you shouldn't try to be claiming. Okay, this is getting into a really bad conversation that I don't want to get into. All I'm trying to say is, as a white woman, I have the opportunity to sit back and not say what is right and wrong. Like, I'm not saying the right things how it should be said. Y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? Like, I'm not sticking my nose into trying to appropriate anybody else's culture. I respect other people's culture and heritage, and I am just here minding my own business, and just trying to be out of the way as much as possible. Lord. Hey, Monique. Yeah, you know, I have no problem with saying how I feel about my own practice. To each their own. I do me, and I know what's appropriate for me, and I know that, you know, I'm doing the right thing in my own practice. People who gatekeep and people who say XYZ needs to be XYZ, you know, to each their own, but I'm never going to tell you how to do your practice. I'm never going to tell you that things need to be a certain way unless they are properties of a plant, properties of, you know, the moon phases, that sort of thing. I will never tell you you have to do things this way. It is not my place. I am not an expert on anything. I am not somebody who can tell you every single piece of witch history. I have a memory of a goldfish, so everything gets written down. So yeah, it is not my place to say anything other than you do you. But just beware. Just be warned. Just do your own research. And there's that end of it. A decorative knife, that's awesome. No, you didn't open a can of worms. It's a conversation that needs to be said every now and then because, you know, it's an important conversation. It's important because at least my ancestors, we were colonizers, and I'm doing my part to not, like, to not be a part of that, if that makes sense. So it's important to educate. It's important to understand that there are things that are sacred to certain people for a certain reason, right? So, like, you know, and I can't tell you what those are. It's not my space. But when someone tells you, you know, this is a closed practice, that's it. There shouldn't be an argument about it. There shouldn't be, you know, pushback from somebody who's not a part of that culture. Right? So we live and learn. We, you know, again, there's been so much that has been taken and distorted and repackaged into things for the masses that probably shouldn't have been. You know what I mean? And it is a really weird rabbit hole to go down. And so, again, that's why I say do your own research, because it's not my place and it's not my space to tell you what is right and wrong and what is appropriated or not. As a white woman, I have no say in that. And I have no leg to stand on with that. But yeah, like, I didn't mean to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that, but it's important when we look at decks like this. There are certain gods and goddesses that are super sacred to specific cultures, that like we shouldn't need to take that away from them, if that makes sense. I'm please don't hate me for saying all of these things. I'm probably not explaining it in the way that I need to. And it, again, like this, it is what it is. I can't explain everything correctly verbally that I should probably say. But my point is, be mindful. And when we go through things like this, if things don't feel right to you, there's probably a reason why it doesn't feel right. And again, your intuition is important. Your intuition plays a lot of part in spell work, just as much as it does divination. So for instance, for me, like we talked about, I don't do love spells. And then as well, I don't really feel comfortable doing poppet spells, or like, you know, putting my essence onto a doll, so to speak, and using the doll for spell work. That doesn't feel right for me to do. Other people, awesome, cool. You can do what feels right. So that's all I'm trying to get at. Yeah, and you can go back to where your ancestors were from originally, like you said, Fair Self, like the Celtic traditions, absolutely. But that's different than a whole nother culture that you ancestrally aren't a part of. That's the distinction. Sorry, I'm just catching up on the chat. But yeah, I do like the different backs on it, because you're not, like, if you're doing divination, you're not exactly knowing what you're getting. Hello, Divination Station. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, thank you. Well, welcome. We've just been having a very interesting chat. I'm not very eloquent when I'm speaking of closed practices, apparently. But we're going through the spell deck, and we just flipped through, and we're going to pull a card and read from it. I just got distracted by chat real fast. Yeah, if it doesn't resonate, don't do it. Oh, hi, Misty. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you feel better. Yeah, we need to be respectful to communities and help protect and respect them. Absolutely. Yeah. So Donna, again, it's not my place to say what's right or what's not. Again, it's use your judgment. And if something, like if you are blatantly using something, like let's just say there's a document, right? And it says, you know, this is a closed practice up top, you know, like an FBI document that says classified. Are you still going to read it? Are you still going to do it? Even though you aren't a part of the classified? Like, that's the argument, right? So, if something it says for, you know, for witches' eyes only, okay? And then, let's just say a Catholic comes in who is not a part of the witch community and was like, oh, well, it says for witches' eyes only, but I'm going to read it anyway, and I'm going to use it. That's what we're talking about. It's not necessarily talking about, like, specific genetics. It's not talking about specific, you know, places you were born. It's talking about what is closed for that said culture that said community, right? And again, I have no like real big space to say anything from my background, right? Like I can be an amplifier of it, but I can't be someone who educates, because it's not my background to educate on that. All I can say is you can figure out what's right and wrong, right? And I saying all of this mean absolutely no disrespect to anybody's practice, anybody's things. I'm just saying, let's be mindful, okay? I know that there's like a lot of hot topic, hotbed issues on a lot of this in the spiritual community. I'm just giving you my take, which is be mindful, be respectful, and make sure you're not doing something that's closed. That's it. Everything else, that's your judgment, that's your practice. And that's where we end the conversation. Hello, the Dancing Oracle. Mystified, I hope you feel better. Donna, it was an example. I'm not saying... Again, I'm probably not explaining everything correctly. Like, I'm just saying that's a figurative example of how I could explain something. Thanks, Divination Station. I'm sorry. I need to figure out a I think there's a plugin that will allow both chats to see each other. So I have to figure that out. I have to do some more research on that. Yeah, I agree. You do you, and to each their own. Absolutely. Oh, gosh. All right, so how about we actually pull a card now that we've been on this topic for like half an hour. So let's get in here. Okay. No! All right, we're going to read for this little bee here. So this is the back, very fitting. All right, so it says, a buzzing bee represents abundance, community, and sweetness of life. Bees are hard workers, collaborating as a team to produce honey. When this precious creature appears, it is a sign of an auspicious opportunity. Create a honey jar to bless your community, family, or relationship. Honey is the nectar of the gods, and it can add sweetness to situations. Add honey, molasses, jasmine, orange blossoms, or roses to a clean jar. Draw a bee with a heart around it on a piece of paper, along with names, places, or situations you want to bring sweetness to. Meditate over the jar for 7 days, asking to send the magic of bees to your loved ones. Okay, so this is a great example of minimal effort, minimal materials, but yet could be very beneficial, maximum output, right? So there is definitely value to this specifically that we see this example. I like it. I like that it was talking about community because we are a little community. All right, let's see if we can get one that has a little bit more to it. All right, Fortuna. A lucky bag of talismans, charms, crystals, and or messages to protect and bless your spells or carry on your travels. So I like that it describes what we're talking about. In a green, gold, or purple bag, add 7 lucky items, such as a piece of your hair, a coin or a dollar, citrine, green jade, labradorite, whole nutmeg, or a bay leaf. Add a small piece of paper on which you have written your goals, dreams, and aspirations. Draw the hexagram symbol on the bag, place on the pentagram on your altar and charge with power during the full moon or on a Wednesday or Thursday. Okay, and then on the bottom too, you have what the group is here. So which is familiar for the bee, and then you have the abundance and good fortune at the bottom for the Fortuna. So far, I am really enjoying it. I don't know about you guys. Let's build this honey jar ASAP. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. My brush is full of my hair too. For real. I just cleaned it out. And brunch. Yeah, she just happened to find it in her eggs. In her mimosa. Oh gosh. That's horrible. So what do you guys think so far? I'm going to try to find one with more of... Oh, I like this. Okay. So we have... So this is a rites of purification and ritual. And it's a hearth blessing. So bring blessings to your home on a new moon. In the bedroom, light a green candle and say, "May this bedroom be blessed with bliss, love, and restoration." In the kitchen, light a red candle and say, "May this hearth be blessed with fire and nourishment." In the living room, light a yellow candle and say, "May this room be blessed with joyful gatherings." In the bathroom, light a candle, or blue candle, and say, "May this bathroom be blessed with renewal and cleansing." So that's awesome. So there's little differences here and there about like how to do a specific spell. What I'm interested in is using this for divination. So like these two examples here, or three examples, if you pulled them, I guess the representation would be kind of like the message there, yeah? So like for B, this would be talking about abundance coming your way, right? Same with Fortuna. And then the hearth blessing would be like, you know, indicating that possibly there's good news coming to your house situation or with your family. Everything's all good. Or to maybe an indication to kind of look into blessing your house. Bye, Joan. Have a great night. Thanks for hanging out. Harry Mimosa. I'm sorry, guys. Not a fan of the artwork. I get that, yeah. Yeah, easy enough to execute. Absolutely. So, the next question is, do we want to see how we would want to use it for a card pull? I like how they shuffle. We didn't talk about the cardstock because we got so distracted. Meaning I got so distracted. They're quite on the thinner side. They're not super paper thin, but they are thinner. I would reckon they are thinner than the current Hay House Publishing cardstock. Thinner, I think. But they shuffle really well. I don't have an issue with how they move or they bend. They snap back. So, yeah. But again, we all know I don't really care too much about cardstock as long as it's going to shuffle well. Okay. So we'll do a collective card pull. Yeah, easy to follow spells are super important, right? Especially if you're just learning or starting out. I still consider myself a beginner, and I've been doing this for... I don't want to tell you how long, because I don't even know. They are long and skinny. This is the same publisher that brought you the Legendary Ladies Oracle. So it's a similar box style to that too. Maybe not as long as the Legendary Ladies. I don't think, no, yeah. Not as long as them, but it is skinny and long, so it might be a little bit harder for smaller hands to shuffle side by side. Or not side by side, lengthwise like we were doing. But what I like to do when I can't really get a good grip on it is do the side by side shuffle. And it seems like that works well. I don't have an issue. Okay, so collectively the Chiron, the wounded healer. Chiron, the centaur, represents emotional healing. To call on Chiron, boil a combination of any of the following herbs: rosewood, lavender, mistletoe, feverwort, cedarwood, or bay laurel. Pour the brew into a warm bath when the moon is dark, or in Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, asking for strength to surface from pain. Recite, wounded yet walking. Chiron, help me recognize the inherent wisdom gained from this pain. Grant me the ability to release, renew, and restore. So mote it be. So this is rites of purification and renewal. So as far as collectively, I mean, that kind of says a lot. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. The universe needs healing. Collectively, we need to come back to center. Absolutely, 100%. And what strikes me too is like this feels like very like someone who's been fighting for such a long time and just has been trying to just get through every single obstacle. And like they're finally just like allowing the heaviness of the emotions to wash over them, right? This is someone who does everything for somebody else, will put all of their energy for everyone else. The wounded healer. So, you know, even though they're hurting, even though they've got their own issues to deal with, they're still going to try and help someone else. They're still trying to better somebody else's lives, even though they're still hurting, they're still in pain. So collectively, I feel like this makes a lot of sense. Ooh, Van, what deck did you get? Yeah, that's the other thing, like the specific, I love the deck, not the decks, the books that are like, and you need Pegasus feather, tail feather, whatever, you know, like something ridiculous, like, you know you don't have conventional access to that, right? And your girl is not going to shell out a fortune just to get something tiny to use in one spell. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But again, you know, that comes with learning and experience where you're like, okay, well, you know, I don't have this herb. I wonder if this one would work. And then kind of experimenting with it and figuring out whether, you know, it does a good job or not. And it's the little things too that you can kind of just be like, oh yeah, I forgot I had, you know, eggshells that I can use instead of salt. You know, I don't have salt now. I can use eggshells. Fill in the blank. There's so many different opportunities around your house. Like, again, you might not have very expensive star anise or however you pronounce it, but you might have cloves similar. It might not be as potent, but maybe you can try something in a different way to make it work for you. Being resourceful is a way of the witch. We always had to be resourceful. But yeah, do what feels right. Use your intuition as well. There's some times where I'm like, it's kind of like cooking. when you're like, I'll try it, what ingredients will work. And they end up working or tasting really flavorful, really good, better than you thought it would. That happens to me with simmer pots all the time. I'll be like, oh yeah, I forget what marjoram does, but I want to add it to this. Works for me. Or like I never measure my herbs or, anything I do in my little mortar and pestle. I never measure. I just kind of go with the gut. But again, everybody's practice is different. Livla, oh my god, I'm sorry. I apologize. Livla, have a great night. Thanks for hanging out. Untamed Mystery Tarot. I'm going to write that down. Check it out. One p.m. Okay. So what I'm thinking, I kind of want to experiment with this and see what we get. Oh, well, that one wanted to come out. And would you look at that? Chiron wanted to come out again. Okay, this is kind of what I wanted to see with more of the materials here. So Mercury. A mist to spray for all mercurial matters to allow clear, thoughtful communication and flawless execution. Again, this is what I need. Clear communication is a problem for me sometimes. Hermes, Mercury, Elegua, and Ganesh are just a few representation of the wise messengers of truth. So here we have a list of essential oils. Whenever I will get back up on the soapbox, sorry. Whenever you are using essential oils, if you are going to use them topically or ingest them in any way, make sure that if you're ingesting essential oils, that they are therapeutic grade, that they are food safe. There should be a label on it. And then make sure that you're not allergic to them. So if you know that you are allergic to cinnamon, do not be putting cinnamon essential oil on your skin. So again, you're going to have to do what feels right and know what feels right. And most of the time, if you are using any sort of essential oil for anything else, there is a castor oil that you dilute that essential oil in. So you kind of mix them together. Oh, right, the huge book of spells. But was that book of spells the 1001 book of spells? Because that thing is thick. Healing spell. Let's see. Okay, we'll look at the healing spell for Misty right after this. Sorry, I'm just checking on chat. Oh my god, if that's what's true, if they're both going to be active, isn't that funny how they came out? Oh my gosh. Soap dish, no. Wait, is that the one with Robert Downey Jr.? Because then yes. I was a huge Robert Downey Jr. fan, so yeah, absolutely, 100%. Okay, so, yeah, see, it does have rubbing alcohol and mineral or spring water. But this has the essential oils of benzoin, bergamot, orange, and cinnamon. And it says blend the essential oils in a spray bottle and add rubbing alcohol. Then fill halfway with water, shake and spray to test. Then fill the rest of the bottle with water and more oils if stronger scent is desired. Mist at home, work, or whenever Mercury's gifts are needed. So this also has the tag at the bottom of abundance and good fortune. So what do you guys think about this? I'm going to try to find a healing one for Misty while you guys tell me what you think. It might be a minute because I don't think there's, let's see, was there? Oh no, I'm halfway out of it. Let's see. Love. Okay, so rites of purification and renewal. That's what I'm looking for. Found one. Then we can see too if the backs make a difference. If they're all specific to their group, which I thought they were. Okay. I should have done this earlier. It's alright. Really liking the addition of the different tools and the witch's familiars. It just gives you more information. We already did the hearth blessing, so that's not what we need. I just feel like there's a lot of really good info in here. So, oh, look at Bridget is for fires of passion and creativity. Love that. Okay, cool. And then Chiron, we already did Chiron. All right. Huge spell books. Yeah, they're... Yeah, I'm finding one for Mystified right now. I want to do a specific one with her. Want to see which one of these for healing would work. That's Clarity. That's Restoration. Okay, this might work. This might work. Witch's Bottle. Let's just read these because I feel like this is a good indication of how this deck will work too. Okay, let's go for it. Yeah, he was, okay, Sally Field and Kevin Kline, yes. Yes, Witch Hazel could work, absolutely. Hi, Joanna, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, people sick, no. Oh, 5,000 spells from around the world. Oh my god. I can only imagine. That's a weapon. You would use it, Lunar? Well, what's great is that it does give you direction. Okay, so Mystified, Misty, let's see what might work for you here. I pulled the specific grouping here. So we have a healing balm. So a natural healing balm to soothe your soul when you're under the weather. So 6 tablespoons of shea butter and then the essential oils of rosemary, eucalyptus, peppermint, balsam fir or pine, and lavender. So then you would melt the shea butter into a boiler, remove from heat, and add 5 to 10 drops of any combination of essential oils. Mix thoroughly, pour, and store in a lidded tin. Use topically for chest colds to aid with peaceful sleep. Consult with an herbalist for information regarding use for children and do not use if pregnant. I love that that was added. So that's, okay, soothe your soul under the weather. Witch's Bottle. This is quite the interesting thing to research. If you research, Google like witch's bottles from over the years. Very interesting. So, a timeless spell for protection and deflecting negativity. Fill a wide-mouthed glass bottle with broken pieces of mirrors, pins, needles, nails, or anything old and rusty. Add a piece of your hair. As you add items to your bottle, chant the following verse multiple times. No known or unknown force or hex can penetrate this sharp and mighty spell, which is sealed, protected, and blessed quite well. Bury your witch bottle underneath the dirt in front of your home or a secluded area where you will have privacy performing your rites. There were a few articles about people who like bought an old home and they were doing landscaping or, you know, yard work or whatever, and they found bottles and they would post online like, what is this? Like, this looks weird. We're like, put it back. don't want it. Then we have uncrossing. And so rite of cleansing, where you release mental, emotional, spiritual, or physical blocks. So during the waning moon, draw a bath, adding sea salt and any combination of the following herbs: hyssop, lavender, rue, vervain, St. John's wort, or sage. As you bathe, imagine your body and psyche releasing all impurities. Visualize obstacles dissolving as the water drains. After the bath, walk throughout your home, burning any of the aforementioned herbs. Cast a circle and carve your name and cross into a white candle. Dress the candle with olive oil and light it, asking for all negative energy to be released and sent down to Mother Earth. Wow, Natasha, get it together. Let the candle burn until extinguished. And then the last one here is Kaifi. The ancient Egyptian incense blend is used for daily purification, solar rituals, house blessing, healing, and cleansing rites. That's a lot of powders and essential oils. This is quite complex because, like, benzoin, sweet flag, and gum mastic, those are going to be hard to find. But yeah, you mix them together in the mortar and pestle, dry overnight. So basically you're making your own incense blend. I don't know much about that one. I don't know how I feel about that one. That's one that's like, that's a little too complex. That's a little too much for me. Too much work for me. Alright, let me catch up. Oh my gosh, Van Root. No, don't worry about it. Absolutely. Don't worry about it. Oh, I love that. That a spell is a wish that you make with your good heart and love. Create your own and do with good intention. Absolutely, 100%. Hi, Shadow. Everyday magic is good for beginners or easy witch work. So Shadow, if you don't see the other people in chat, I'm simultaneously streaming on Twitch and on YouTube. So I don't have the capability at the moment for both chats to be in one place on the screen. Right, benzoin, I don't know where that would, like, you would have to go to a specialty shop. So that's why I'm like, that might have been a little too advanced. You are welcome, Mystified. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, right? Like the healing balm, is it not just the Vicks vapor rub? Hey, if you can make it, if you have all those items and you can make it yourself, why not? Why not? I have no issue with that. My own spells are very minimal and right, Shadow? Like, yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to make it work to combine the two. Minimal and low. Yeah, sense of direction is great. Yeah, again, with the Lazy Witch thing, I have no shame in saying that. I want the easiest, most convenient way of going about my workings because I don't have the attention span to really, nor do I have like the time and the, you know, the means to just go about this big old long ritual. But when you think about it, even your morning routine is a ritual. What you do before going to bed is a ritual. And you can make everything more witchy in your life by intentionally creating that ritual for yourself. So, you know, when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do? Me, myself, is like, get up, go make some coffee. Let the dogs out, that sort of a thing. So you can try to figure out ways of making things more magical for you. I do a lot of the coffee magic of just brewing my coffee with cinnamon, with, usually pumpkin spice comes during the fall time. Using those specific herbs that will taste really good in your coffee and making those properties be used for your intention for the day. So, cinnamon's really good for abundance too. So add that into your coffee. Coffee's really good for speed. Same with cinnamon. So things might manifest a little bit quicker for your workings. And then stirring clockwise will bring the intent toward you. So bringing stuff in, stirring counterclockwise will vanish. So think of it that way. And yeah, just making yourself have a more witchy routine. It brings the intention more so to the forefront of your brain for your day. And then it kind of gives you a, I'll say, guideline for your day, how it might go for you. Just like, if you wake up and you put yourself in a bad mood, you're going to have a bad mood for the rest of the day. Bad luck might just be coming towards you because you're already in that mindset. But if you wake up and you're like, I'm going to have a good day, and just try to focus on the positive things and the good things that are happening, then you're more likely to have a more positive and productive day. So yeah, rituals are important, and rituals can be anything. They can be how you go to work every day. They can be how you make dinner, making dinner, cooking, kitchen witchery. That's ritual. You can, every time you make something and cook something for loved ones, you're adding your love and intention into that because you're wanting to nourish your family, nourish yourself. So as long as you are actively thinking of that intention, that's a ritual. That's a spell. At least in my eyes, in my experience, that's what I do. I try to make everything I do a little bit magical because it makes the day go by a lot nicer. Hey Anna! Oh my gosh, hi, how are you? Use vinegar instead of conditioner. It only works if you never had your hair colored or permed though. Well, I'm out. I'm out. Yeah, impatience. Absolutely. That's another big one. Again, I want it to be very easy to understand. I want it to be accessible, and I want it to be something that doesn't involve a accoutrement of tools. Like, I don't need that in my life. It's too complicated. I'm going to say no. Oh yeah, missed you guys are in fall. I keep forgetting that the southern hemisphere is where Australia is. Like, of course I know where Australia is on the globe, but like in my head it doesn't register that you guys are like on opposite hemispheres. So you guys have the opposite weather that we're in right now in North America. It's crazy. The world is crazy. Well, I think cinnamon has a property in it, like, this is probably not what it is, but the capsaicin, from the pepper, that's in a lot of things now, too, that some people are allergic to that. So it's not that's in cinnamon, but there's a property that's similar. So, like, people can get allergic to, or people can be prone to be allergic to one of those, like, little things in cinnamon. I, again, can't explain things correctly. I am not a nutritionist or chemist or anything like that. I couldn't tell you anything about that. But yes, this morning I literally was like, cinnamon in the coffee, and I was like, okay, I just intend on this to do what its properties mean to do. And I walked away and let it brew because I was so not awake this morning. Cinnamon is the fire element. Yes. Abundance, success, love. self-love, romance, and so many things. Oh, you have cinnamon sticks in your witch balls. Love it. Don't put a teaspoon of raw cinnamon in your mouth. Yeah, I remember that being a challenge a couple years. Well, maybe it's been like 10 years now, but I don't know. But people were trying to see if they could like eat a spoonful of cinnamon, and like people were going to the hospital. And I'm just like, you're dumb. You're so dumb. Like, why would you put yourself through that? And it's like teens and younger kids. Ooh, nice. Solar water and then moon water on April 1st. Oh, thanks. Yeah, my hair is definitely needing a retouch. Pull another card. I can do that. We'll see. See what comes up. Oh my gosh, we've already been on here for an hour and a half. Time flies. Okay, let's see what other kind of card that we get here. Because I would rather experiment a little bit with using this as divination. I don't know how helpful this would be for you guys right now. I'm going to play around with it now that I have it shown for you guys and see what I get out of it. But we'll pull another card. Okay, well, Spider wanted to come out, and Priestess. Alright, so Spider. Weaving a web of magic, the spider's wisdom lies in precision, patience, and storytelling. Well, weren't we just talking about not having patience? If you see a spider in your home, do not destroy it. Instead, watch the spider methodically build silky, almost invisible threads and learn from their unique gifts. Draw a cobweb illustration on a piece of paper and write about a recent fear, mystery, or memory that has been haunting you. Place it hidden on your altar, or in your book of shadows, and do not look at it until another spider appears, whether in a few days or a year. At that time, reread the letter and see how your relationship to the situation has evolved. Time, like the spider, builds connections, stories, and history. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Weaving a web of magic. Do you guys get rid of your spiders? Alright, Priestess. When a priestess appears, she represents your future enlightened self, a maternal figure and a source of divine inspiration. Her knowledge and experience of sacred traditions is a deep pool for those who choose to seek them. On your journey through witchcraft, you will meet many guides and experts, but a true priestess works as a mentor, offering up assistance, performing sacred rites, and taking young witches under her wing. During the full moon, reflect on priestess energy and think about who embodies that role presently in your life, or ask the universe to send a wise one to learn from. Interesting. Patience, and we have nurturing. I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? So far, I like it. I honestly think this would be more beneficial for a card a day. So, you know, when you start your day, if you guys have a routine with, you know, card pulls, if you do Oracle, Tarot, or both, I think this would be more of a beneficial thing for divination as far as pulling it for the day. So, you know, for instance, you know, pulling this one, the Priestess card, like we're going to, you know, think about how we can nurture maybe ourselves, nurture our creativity, nurture our intuition throughout the day. Maybe think about who we can learn from for certain things for the day. But as far as would I use this for other divination purposes, like I probably would never use this for a pick a card reading. I wouldn't use it for client work, but as far as personal work, I would probably use it for that. But I think it's great too that there's the different sections that you can pick from if you have a specific spell that you would like to do for a specific reason. But yeah, I don't know. I really honestly don't think I would use it for anything other than like personal divination. What do you guys think? Sweep the shop to clear bad vibes. Absolutely. Dancing Oracle, it's been raining for you? I'm so upset. Like, it hardly rained this winter for us. You're like on another planet being in Australia? No. You're allergic to aloe vera. Oh, wow. Anna, you have a friend that's allergic to garlic? Oh my gosh. Yeah, garlic is an essential item in this house. It's basically put in almost everything I make. My husband's like, did you add garlic? Because I love you. Either like raw garlic or the garlic powder that you can get to put on things. Like, it's really good in eggs. Your mom makes the best pumpkin pie. Oh, I love that. Spider is the web weaver, is wielding your magic. Oh, awesome. Oh my gosh. So, okay, the Untamed Mystery Tarot is made of plastic? That's crazy. I've seen a few plastic decks. There's a big Rider-Waite-Smith classic style that's made of plastic. I think it's like $25.99. But I think they're bigger cards. But I had thought like, oh, wouldn't that be fantastic for like a beach party? Or, you know, going to the beach and you're like, I'm going to do some reading. Because then you don't have to worry about ruining your cards. There's also there's the transparent tarot that's made of plastic, but the way that it looks really weird, and it's on the list of like maybe I'll buy, because it is an interesting concept where everything's layered on top of it, but like the pictures are tiny and in specific spots on the card. So it's like if you have the deck stacked, you can see, or let's just say you have 3 cards, you can see each card through the top card. Really weird, but it could be interesting to work with. Creeped out by spiders, hate spiders. Yeah, I do the same thing. Get a piece of paper or whatever and slip it under them and like move them outside. Usually I don't notice the spider until it's too late though. Like they've already made a web and I'm like, what the heck, what are you doing here? Not fun to be bitten by a spider. Oh my gosh, those big furry spiders in Australia that are like the size of a truck. Crazy. No thanks. Oh no, no spiders dropping on your head. Oh gosh. Alright kids, I think I'm going to end the live. I feel like tonight was a little weird. So I'm sorry if we went off topic a little bit, but sometimes I have to talk about things intuitively that come up, and that came up, and so I feel like it's an important conversation that we need to have every once in a while, especially with new people to the craft, new people to divination and all of that stuff. And with social media being so prevalent now, where a lot of people can get information quickly, that it's important to have conversations about, you know, ethics and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope I explained everything in a way that was not disrespectful and that made sense. I did not mean to make it uncomfortable, but sometimes uncomfortable topics need to be talked about. Yeah, sorry. Hi, Richard. But yeah, I absolutely think this deck has value. I think it would be great for a lot of people, depending on where you're at on your craft. I want to experiment with it for a little bit as far as how divination would work with it. But like I said, I don't see myself using it for like pick a cards or for client work. I think it's more of a personal deck, because then intuitively I think you can get what you need from it. No, Huntsman as in the spider. Oh, thanks, Lunar. Yeah, I really enjoy you guys. I think we all can have grown-up conversations about, you know, things like this and keep it respectful and keep it, you know, educational. But yeah, for the most part, I think it went okay. But yeah, I hope you guys didn't feel uncomfortable at all. But there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of things that maybe aren't the best practices to do. And like I said earlier, I'm not the one to give the information. But yeah, I'm perfectly okay with staying in my own lane. All right, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. Thank you for just being here and your patience. And if you haven't yet done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell on your way out of this video. That way you'll never miss an upload from me. If you're interested in the deck, I have the links down in the description box below if you are on YouTube. And then, oh my gosh, Mystified, you are so sweet. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Ah, thank you, Misty. I hope you feel better. I want to hear if you're feeling better. I hope things go well for you. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your night.